of security is very low.
There's a war out there, old friend, and it's not about who's got the most bullets. It's all about the information.
Battle stations.
Enough, they've almost got us.
He's lying.
Hang up, fish.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. Welcome to another Movies You Probably Missed review. Today's review is for the 1992 comedy crime espionage thriller Sneakers, a film that is directed by Phil Alden Robinson and it stars, get this cast, Robert Redford, Dan Aykroyd, Ben Kingsley, Mary McDonnell, Sidney Poitier, River Phoenix and David Strathairn. Now, after the recent sad passing of Sidney Poitier, I wanted to do a review of one of his films that was important to me. Now, I don't pretend to be an expert on Sidney Poitier's filmography. I've not watched a huge amount of things in his filmography, but all the films I remember seeing him in the 80s and the 90s, certainly, I was always super impressed with his performances, and he carried the screen with great charisma and presence. And I wanted to recognise the impact he's had on Hollywood and do this review as a little bit of a tribute to him, which is why I'm doing it. Now, the reason why I've chosen Sneakers is it's one of those hidden gems of a films that not a lot of people have seen, not a lot of people have talked about, and it's an absolutely brilliant film that is way ahead of its time. And it focuses on Robert Redford's character, Bishop, Martin Bishop. And we see at the beginning of the film that he is pulling a prank with his best friend, Cos, played by Ben Kingsley. They're kind of breaking into, banks and things like that and stealing money and donating it to places, all that kind of stuff. And when he goes out to pizza, his friend, Cos, gets arrested and taken to prison. And he believes he dies in prison, Robert Redford's character. He's then on the run for the government for the rest of his life. And the next time we see him, he is all grown up and he's running like his own agency, where he has a crew of people. And on that crew, you've got Sidney Poitier, you've got Dan Aykroyd, David Strathairn, and River Phoenix. And this crew basically break into places to show the owners of this building or the owners of this business its weaknesses, and then they get paid. Very much like, the Stallone film a few years ago, where he broke into high-tech prisons, broke out of them to show them that they can be broken out of, that sort of thing. Similar concept. These guys break into businesses. And then they are tasked by the government, who then track down Robert Redford and basically give him no option. And they tell him he has to track down this code-breaking machine that has been invented. They do this, and then they realise how this code-breaking machine could change the world, because it can essentially break into anything. You name it, it can break into it. So it's a very, very powerful device that many people will kill for. And this group soon discover this. They end up losing the device and they figure out an elaborate heist to get it back in order to negotiate their lives with the government. Right, Sneakers then. Why is this film so good? Well, it's funny, at the time when I first saw this, and I saw this when it first came out, I don't remember going to the cinema to see it, but I could have done. But I certainly remember watching it in the early 90s when it came out on VHS, probably, I'm suspecting. And at the time, it was very, very current, the technology used in the film. Now, when you watch it now, it feels very dated, the technology in the film. It's like an analog film in what is now a digital age. But remarkably, it feels like this film is decades ahead of its time. Certainly a good 10 years before its time, this, in regards to the things it's trying to express, in regards to, secrets being stolen. And there's actually a scene in this film where they basically say the world is changing. It's not about basically who has the most guns or bullets or weapons anymore. It's about who holds the data, who holds the information. Information is power. And that that's remarkable, really, because that's the world we are now living in. Data, information, whoever owns all this information really does have the power these days. So it was remarkable, really, and it really reminded me when I rewatched this to prepare for this review, just how ahead of its time this film is. Put all that to one side, though, and trust me, guys, with this cast, you're going to have a ball, because what you get here with this film is a really well put together film that's nicely paced, doesn't take itself too seriously, it's light-hearted, it's got some lovely light-hearted moments in it that will make you chuckle, but it's not it's not full-on comedy or anything like that. It's kind of self-aware in a lot of ways. What you've got is all these brilliant actors. It's an ensemble piece, even though Robert Redford is the leading man and he holds the screen brilliantly. Of course he does. It's Robert Redford. But you've got this ensemble cast and they all get their moments to shine. You all understand their role in the team. And you've got a nice villain of the piece as well, who is Ben Kingsley. Yeah, while at times it does feel dated, this film, there's no getting around that, certainly these days. There are other times in this film you will watch it and you'll think, wow, it really did predict the future, this film, in a lot of ways. And I was super impressed with it at the time. And rewatching it to prepare for this review, I was super impressed again. Brilliant chemistry, the cast all had, especially Sidney Poitier and Dan Aykroyd. Actually, they've got Dan Aykroyd's like this conspiracy theorist, and Sidney Poitier's character used to work at the CIA, so they're always kind of at odds with each other in regards to his ridiculous conspiracy theories. It's really fun, and ironically, in real life as well, Dan Aykroyd is a bit of a conspiracy theorist as well, so it didn't stray too far from his own personality there. But trust me, guys, if you've never seen Sneakers, it's a film you definitely need to seek out and check it out. It's really good. It's got brilliant cast in it. They all perform brilliantly in the film. Great chemistry between them. It's paced lovely, and it's a really enjoyable film to watch. So check it out, search it out, and I promise you will not be disappointed. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. I'll be back with plenty more reviews and content on the channel very soon.